Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. And just a heads up, I have a horrible sore throat today, so hopefully I'll get to the end of this replay without coughing my lungs out. We'll find out. So, tune in for that. So here, this is sent in by RebelDog. He's playing as a Skaven, and you can tell he's taken some inspiration from Aerocrastic's build from the last community clash. This is pretty wonderful. So he has two Doom wheels, just to muck up the front line, just be an absolute pain, and it lets these 3 units of Warp Lightning Cannons and the Plague Claw Catapults do some work. So this is obviously a custom battle, because you can see the units are bigger. That's right, there's one extra cannon. This is not a quick battle, this is a custom battle, but fun nonetheless. Also here you can see Lord Skrulk. So Skrulk is obviously a classic, you know, lead Bubonicus, the summons, it just puts more fodder in the front line, so, you know, the artillery doesn't get attacked as soon, so that's pretty nice. He's also got some gutter runs with poison. The poison will obviously help slow things down too, and they can do some good work to more lightly armoured units. Plenty of spearmen in the back to try and fend off any sort of mounted yim and other nonsense. Because as you can see, it's Bretonnia. Yes, that's right. So here you can see he does have the defense of the Fleur-de-Lis and some knights errant. Also, King Lewin. Lewin is it's a weird one. It can either be super risky or kind of fine, as long as you can close the gap nice and quickly. Obviously, he doesn't want to get shot at by all that very scary artillery, but of course he does have the Lion's Shield, which will give him crazy high missile and magic resistance, so he can shrug off a heck of a lot of damage, but that's only for 22 seconds, so that's a bit tough. It's he can still take quite a lot of punishment from all those Warp Lightning Cannons. Gonna have to bob and weave quite a bit. Over here though you can see Peasant Bowman already wavering thanks to one volley from the Plague Claw Catapult that does of course have a leadership debuff when they're hit, on top of the usual leadership debuff just from being attacked by artillery, and of course damage taken. So that's pretty cool. Men-at-Arms, Spearmen-at-Arms, just a lot of cheap fodder in the front line. That's all very good for bogging down sort of cheap clan rats and things. They can compete quite well there. But also there are some battle pilgrims in the back for some extra damage. Those damage dealers, you really want that to be able to cut through those cheap units quickly so the rest of your units can keep bogging things down. Over here you see he's got the companions of Quenelles, so good armor piercing. They're going to be very good for taking out the Doom wheels. And he's also got some Knights Errant back there too. And Law of Beasts, Damsel of Beasts with Flock of Doom. That's all she's got though. That is all she's got. Might be good to have a Life Mage generally if you can have a lot of cavalry, but he's generally just gone very wide. So speeding things up. So more harassment here on the Peasant Bowmen. It is good to take them out early for sure. You know, you don't want them just being able to shoot at things at their leisure. If they can get in range of the artillery, they can actually take out pieces of artillery pretty fast. It's kind of scary. So Lewin is able to avoid most of the fire coming in there. Here the gutter runners are having to fall back, and sadly these cannons are actually pushing forwards to try and get in range of these guys. So you need to make sure you're on guard mode if there's hilly terrain. So here though, you can see the Doom Wheel is mucking things up a bit. It is capturing these Knights Errant, and it means they're going to be fine pickings to get shot at, and that's going to be pretty scary. Here Gutter Runners trying to do some work to King Lewin, cannons still firing. Skrulk is positioning, probably to try and summon some more units in here to bog them down. Lewin is trying to get involved, and of course he does have Terror. You know, he's pretty useful in this matchup, purely for the amount that he can scare people. But, point-blank shots, just decimating these defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis. And that Doom Wheel is keeping the Knights Errant busy, but the Doom Wheel does cost more. The front lines are starting to engage, sort of. I mean, you know, the Skaven slaves are pushing forward, but the Doom Wheel is mostly just bogging things down and stopping them from being able to keep advancing. Over on this side, though, the Companions of Quenelles and the Knights Errant are getting in fairly unaccosted. You know, there's not really anything focusing on them right now. It's all over here, which, to be fair, seems to be going quite well. Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis and those Knights Errant both terrified, which is pretty wonderful. So that Doom Wheels can be able to escort them off, and that is very costly. So here you can see Spearmen-at-Arms are trying to come in, but it'd be very easy just to throw some Skaven slaves at them to keep them busy. Flock of Doom trying to whittle this stuff down. And yeah, this is proving kind of good on this side, not great on this side. You know, these this cavalry, they're going to make short work of this stuff. And the front line, I mean, the Skaven slaves are dealt with, and these aren't going to be sticking around for that long. So suddenly there's going to be a lot more infantry pushing into the middle. Over here, though, Doom Wheel taking some damage. It is getting poisoned, which will put its combat stats down a bit. So that does help slightly. And the Battle Pilgrims, though, they're not really built for dealing with something like a Doom Wheel, but they do hit fairly hard. You know, they are whittling down that Doom Wheel a bit, but the Doom Wheel is definitely doing its job. So over here, these Warp Lightning Cannons need to turn, and this Doom Wheel needs to charge in and start bogging down some of this stuff, because these cannons are under a lot of pressure, and the Plague Claw Catapult 102 kills on this guy. Of course, larger model sizes, but it looks like they're aiming for the damsel right now, which isn't ideal. You know, go for some of the peasant bowmen again, I think, because there are quite a few of those. Over here, though, you can see the Knights of the Realm did come back. I missed those. I completely missed the Knights of the Realm. Where did they come from? I have no idea. Anyway, Lewin is involved here. It is just Clan Rat Spears trying to hold all this stuff at bay, but there's Battle Pilgrims in here, as well as the Men-at-Arms, so they're going to cut through that stuff very easily. So over here, now these Battle Pilgrims start to take some damage, and the Doom Wheel still keeping all this stuff busy, but this side is buckling quite heavily. Over here, though, these units are starting to push forwards, and Skrulk is in here, and he does have a lot of health. He's got a lot of health, and he's able to get rid of these guys. He does have leadership debuffs of his own when he hits people in melee, so it's definitely going to help, especially with the Doom Wheel, you know, running around. Very scary indeed, does cause terror, as, yeah, most hamster wheels do. So, this stuff is getting polished off, and the Battle Pilgrims are just chasing the gutter runners. But they don't have a lot of armor, and they only have bronze shields, so this isn't the most cost-effective thing for them. There's a load of stuff here that needs to start returning, though, and this side is really struggling. There's just a huge amount of Bretonian infantry and cavalry bogging all this stuff down. But it does look like, somehow, this Warp Lightning Cannon has managed to get out of dodge, and hopefully it can focus down these Companions of Quenelles that are very, very healthy still. Doom Wheel still keeping all that backline very busy, but these Knights of the Realm need to return. These Knights of the Realm would really help in dealing with that Doom Wheel. And this artillery is starting to fire again, and Lewin is starting to take a bit of damage. But considering how long the battle's been going on and how much artillery there's been, he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty well to still be this healthy. But now, this is what you've always got to be scared of. Archers are now in range of the Warp Lightning Cannon, and they will be able to get some good work in there. Now, Man-at-Arms are pushing forward as well, but the Doom Wheel has managed to catch out the Battle Pilgrims, so they're in a very, very bad spot. Another Flock of Doom here, certainly helping out, and Skrulk is helping beat up all of these guys. Liber Bubonicus on the Man-at-Arms, probably a misclick. Lewin was loitering there. Always got to watch out for that, because Liber Bubonicus, you do not want to use it on a big unit. You want to use that on the single models, for sure. So, got to be very wary of that, because that could have done some serious damage to King Lewin, especially if he didn't have the Lion Shield going. You know, if you do have that, you can proc that, and the Magic Resist will shrug off a lot of it, which certainly helps, but using it on Man-at-Arms, that's a real shame. That is a real shame. Over here, though, you can see everything is bogged down here. Companions of Quenelles trying to fight over here, and they are actually suffering a fair bit. I think those Warp Lightning Cannons did get some shots off before they got engaged. Doom Wheel still causing so many problems in that back line, but sadly, this Warp Lightning Cannon isn't long for this world. And over here, Lewin is helping mop up some of these units, and Lewin is great for dealing with something like a Doom Wheel. It would have been good to see him try and help deal with one of these Doom Wheels at some point. It would have really, really tipped that. Obviously, you know, it's still got the problem of all the artillery firing at you, but it would have allowed more of the infantry to push in, which would have helped a lot to shut down that artillery. So it would have been a bit costly initially, but I think it would have benefited more in the long run. So here, Doom Wheel still just be able to terrify things away and push through all this stuff. But here, the Knights of the Realm really need to get involved and shut down that Doom Wheel. They need to help, you know, get Spearmen and Arms and the Knights of the Realm on top of this guy, and you can actually do some pretty good work. So over here, Lewin still chasing, still getting poisoned, you know, by the gutter runners, but he is winning these fights. He is able to just terrify a lot of these guys away. Over here, you can see the Damsel has been taking a lot of damage, and these Skaven Slay Spears are keeping this stuff busy. And they are getting shot at. There's only 21 companions here and 25 Knights Errant, but they are super injured. It would not take much to get rid of them. So, here you see Knights of the Realm have now come in, but one-on-one, they're going to take quite a bit of damage here. You know, they don't have good armor piercing to get through that 100 armor of the Doom Wheel, but they do have the anti-large, which will help. So, Warp Lightning Cannon still firing, but it's getting shot at by the Peasant Bowman. But here, oh, nope, we didn't quite wait long enough. There's nothing to watch out for. When you're summoning units, don't then move your guy. That will cancel it. So here you can see Clan Rats have been summoned on top of the Peasant Bowmen, and those Peasant Bowmen should get wrapped up nicely. Over here, though, Men-at-Arms pushing forward, but this artillery is still suffering quite a bit. You know, this, artillery, the cavalry is suffering quite a bit from the artillery. So here, Skrulk is pushing in again. Rod of Corruption, that will absolutely melt these Man-at-Arms, and it'll really make them suffer. You can see immediately they rout. These guys probably not going to last that much longer, and once they're gone, I imagine the Battle Pilgrims are going to feel a little less secure. But Lewin is coming back in here. Over on this side, the Doom Wheel is struggling in this mix, but the Warp Lightning Cannon is definitely helping out. So we've got some Clan Rat spears, some Skaven slave spears. This Doom Wheel is still causing a nuisance over there. And, God, a lot of the units that were back here, Lewin's completely wrapped up and escorted off the battlefield. And here you can see the Doom Wheel has finally been dealt with, but that's the end of the Knights of the Realm. And I don't think the Spearmen at Arms are going to fare that well in combat with a lot of these units, especially with Skrulk in there, hitting their leadership. So here, the Clan Rats, I believe they're the summoned ones. Yep, those are the summoned ones. So they're running away now, but they did manage to get rid of these men-at-arms, and they have shattered those peasant bowmen. So that is a beautiful cast there. That was so cost-effective. It's what, like 4 or 5 wins of magic to get some Clan Rats, and they just polished off a lot of units that could have done some serious harm. So, a lot of units scattered around now. They have to reform around the remaining artillery to keep it safe, because you cannot let Lewin just go from one to the next, you know, hitting them, terrifying them away, and going to the next one. He will just keep breaking them. So Lewin is taking more damage, and there's that Libi Bubonicus, finally been used on Lewin. So that is fantastic. You can see his healing cap now beginning to show, but if he can get rid of this artillery, he could fight Skrulk pretty happily. So you can see another unit is about to get summoned, which is very nice. Here it comes, Plague Monks. Plague Monks, you know, anti-infantry, but they still have pretty good weapon strength, and they've got pretty good combat stats. Yeah, they're not half bad, and you see Lewin is actually wavering very fast there. That Libi Bubonicus did so much damage to him. But that Stand Your Ground and the Lion Shield is going to help against the magic damage from Skrulk, and it's going to keep him in the fight a little longer. Extra melee defense, now he's got 72, that's pretty good, and the extra leadership is keeping him in the fight. So, but this is tense. This is tense. See the Knights of the Realm and Men-at-Arms trying to push through, but Skaven Slave Spears have managed to get in the way. There's still plenty of strength over here, but it needs to be over here helping out Lewin. Lewin going just kamikaze into what remains is tough, you know, especially when that unit gets summoned. Just leave. Just leave, you know, just zip back and forward, and the cannons just keep having to turn around. They're not really going to be able to hit you. Just run circles around them. That's the way to do it. So here you can see King Lewin is getting chased away. There are some Knights of the Realm. They're trying to fall back to escort Lewin, so hopefully they can get back in action. And the Warp Lightning Cannon is trying to get back online so they can shoot at him. When something is fleeing, it is so easy to hit them with artillery because they're moving in a straight line. You can't serpentine. So more units are trying to return, but that will be army losses. Wonderful. Pyrrhic victory. Very nice fight. Very nice. So, RebelDog, yep, love this, love this. Obviously heavily inspired by Aerocrastic, but, you know, really well used. I love this. I absolutely love this build. I think it's a lot of fun. So you can see Doom Wheels just getting so many kills. You know, if they're not just slaughtering infantry, they're having to be charged by the cavalry. And it means you can basically just dictate where the cavalry is going to go. And it means you can just shoot the crap out of them. You know, it's just a beautiful synergy between Doom Wheels and Warp Lightning Cannons. It's hilarious. Look at that, 113 kills for them as well. I mean, obviously there's a ton of kills on both sides because, well, you know, it's large, well, not large, huge, ultra, whatever, the next army size up, you know, the next unit size up. So, yeah, very big armies. But yeah, this was really cool. This is a lot of fun. Companions and Quenelles, yeah, getting on that one flank, and the Knights Errant. These two just chewed through that flank very, very well. Lewin, 110 kills, pretty damn good, because, you know, his unit size isn't any bigger, but he's still got 110 kills, which is pretty cool. So, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I love this. This is great. So thanks RebelDog for sending it in, and guys, I guess I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, have a good one.